I'd like to invite Jarrod, Woolley and Anthea Rafferty to the stage. They're going to talk about projects that they've been involved in, which really grew from Anthea's work at Warrnambool College around the creation of the Indigenous garden and the original screen installation. And the Leadership Great South Coast group have now installed, is it exactly the same? Yep, exactly the same screen at Swan Reserve, which is near the Children's Services Centre in Warrnambool, opposite KFC, if that's a better landmark for your association. But if you haven't been to, we should get it renamed, the James Swan Reserve. It is actually a campus of Warrnambool Botanic Gardens, and it is an Indigenous garden, and it is evolving over time to have little pieces of a sense of place and a sense of healing, because that space needs it. So I would like to welcome Anthea and Jarrod to talk about their tips and experience. Tips and tricks. I reckon Anthea would be up for tips and tricks. So we will hear hers. And Jarrod, try and keep up.
Thank you, Lisa. Thanks very much, and hello, welcome. So my name is Anthea Rafferty. I am a creative art teacher at Warrnambool College, and I love creating opportunities for young people, and I've been really fortunate to be a lead in this project, which started at Warrnambool College and was gratefully picked up by LGSC. They saw value in it, and it's provided an opportunity for the youth in our community, especially our young Indigenous students, to feel heard, to feel connected, and to see beauty in people supporting them.
And I'm Jarrod Woolley, and I was a participant in Leadership Great South Coast last year, and as part of that program we deliver a community project. This project was pitched at our pitch day, and I opted to go with this one because I am not a creative. I feel like a little bit of an interloper here tonight. This is my first foray into an art project, so yeah, it was a really big learning curve for me, but as Anthea said, it was just great to work with the students who designed the artwork and to see them kind of grow across that entire process, from a group of shy kids who barely spoke at the pitch to taking a microphone at the launch of the mural and pretty much not being able to get it back off them. So that was really, really special, and it was a great project to be involved in. So that's the replica mural there on James Swan Reserve. So we're pretty proud to see it in the ground. It took a little bit longer than expected, but still pretty quick. It took about 11 months from go to woe. We were hoping to have it done in about 6, which was probably a little bit ambitious. Okay, so our top 5, we're collaborating kind of on the fly a little bit, but so the first one, plan but take the opportunities. So I guess I'll talk to the planning side of it, Anthea. Leadership Great South Coast requires a lot of documentation before you start a project, like a lot. I work for council and I have never seen that much documentation, and council loves a document. But working through all of that, it really helped us get to know what we were doing it for, why we were doing it, and how we were going to do it. We researched, we had reference material, we had really clear vision statements and goals and everything, really. It was a really comprehensive document, had budgets, Gantt charts, all sorts of stuff. But that actually made it really easy when we were ready to go to funding bodies and say, hey, we need some cash for this project, because we had it all there. It was ready to go. It was a copy and paste into an application form. It wasn't a reinvent the wheel every single time. It was when we were speaking to it, we knew the answers to the questions because we'd been and we'd had a look at the reference material. We'd seen where it had been done before, and we worked really closely with the original artists and the team at Warrnambool College.
Opportunities present themselves all the time. Be really open to listening to what people say, And even if you don't think that it specifically relates to your project or you have a very clear idea, it always can come back and be important or integral or a minute detail down the track. So always be open to opportunities. Listen to what other people are saying and be observant, I think is really important.
Number 2, which for us it probably relates into the planning a little bit, having that pitch ready to go and knowing it inside out, back to front, upside down was really key for us when we were going to funding partners and people asked, well, why do you want to do this? And we had the answers there ready to go. We had the documentation to prove it. We'd worked with the students, we'd worked with First Nations people. We had the backing, we had the support, so we knew what we wanted to do and we knew how we were going to do it. We just needed to know what we needed support to get there. And so having that pitch down pat, just ready to roll out, and doing all that groundwork that I was talking about before, which was a lot. I can't express enough how much it was. It was, it really helped in the end, and it made it easier when we got to that pointy end of it, where we needed to find the funds. And that pitch, we didn't have a knockback anytime we went to speak to someone because we knew it inside out, back to front. And in fact, I think we went back to, I think it was Fletcher Jones Family Foundation. We went back and we asked for more and we got it. So that was a big learning for me, making sure you have that pitch ready to go and know your stuff inside out, back to front. Number 3.
Think beyond grants and philanthropic. So philanthropy. So you know that there's lots of people out there who can give you money. There's lots of opportunity to apply for grants. A few years ago at Warrnambool College, they financially couldn't support a kiln. So I said, leave it with me. 5 weeks later, I had $15,000. Think outside the box. Ask people who do have money, or talk to people in industry and business. There's lots of people out there who would love the opportunity to connect with your idea. If you are passionate, if you are generous and you are open to working in collaboration with them, I think is really important. And look, how can people, yes, they can give you money, but what else, other in-kind things can you get through building relationships, through building networks? Is there a space that you can use for meetings that they will allow you to use that rent-free? There's lots of opportunities for you to create and work with beautiful people in our region. Tap them on the shoulder, give them a phone call, and if they don't respond, first of all, follow up with that phone call. We're all busy. You might miss the email, you might miss the call, follow it up and say, I've got a great idea. Let's meet, let's work it out.
Yeah, and I think that looking for in-kind support is really important as well. This project that we did required permits and all sorts of stuff. So, we went and spoke to engineering firms and said, hey, we're doing it for this reason, and they'd slice a bit of the price off. Or Warrnambool City Council would help us with the permit process in kind. There was lots of in-kind support, which, helped it move along that little bit quicker than, that was needed. Number 4, build community. This is a really important one as well in terms of, for us, when we were gaining that funding. So Leadership Great South Coast have a bit of an ethos around nothing for them without them. So we took that to mean across the entire thing. So you don't just go into community and say, we're doing this and we're doing it because we want to. So we worked really closely with Anthea, obviously, and the students at Warrnambool College. We set up a project reference group, which included stakeholders from Warrnambool College, the artists, the kids, the Friends of James Swan Reserve were involved in that, Gunditjmara were involved in that. And they were kind of our steering committee, I guess. They helped us make decisions. They helped us say, well, no, why don't we look at it at this place? What about here? And then launch morning, we arrived and we had this beautiful garden around the bottom of it that wasn't planned, but Kevin and Anthea's team from Warrnambool College just said, well, we need to put a garden in around it, and we arrived on Saturday morning and there it was. So having that community backing behind us also really helped with seeking funding, because it showed that it wasn't just us that were pushing this forward, it was a group of people, and especially being an Indigenous artwork as well, being led by 4 white people, it was really important to show that we had that support from the Indigenous community and they were involved and were our funders.
Just an extra note there, the sign now has Pikarong language, and I think that's really important that we are starting to move forward, and we're working with Eastern Maar to ensure that our voices and traditional language is being reintroduced, and we now have that beautiful opportunity to connect and keep moving that forward, which is great, especially reconciliation. Communication is key. Really, really important to thank people. If someone's helped you, no matter how big or how small, please thank them. Send an email, write a note, post-it note, whatever you like to do. Give people a phone call, but thank people. People are giving you their time, they're giving you their money, and a little bit of thanks goes a long way. We often get bogged down in emails, but sometimes just a handwritten note is equally, actually sometimes it's often really nice. It's even better. So communication is key. Keep the conversations open. You don't always hear what you want to hear, and that's okay, because everyone has different things that they will bring to the table. But remember that most of the time when you get 4 young people and you put them at the centre of an artwork and you ask everyone to support them, this is a real opportunity to support youth in our region and to provide opportunities for them to be future change makers. Thank you.
I think for us, in terms of communication too, there were times where the project was stalled, essentially, while we're waiting for permits and all that type of thing to come through. But we made sure we touched base with everyone as we were going along. We'd reach out to the funders and say, hey, we know it looks like nothing's happening, but we're furiously working behind the scenes, and same with the community reference group. So just keeping everyone informed along the way, and kept that sort of momentum going. That had otherwise probably would have stalled if it just had been left and we weren't following it up and weren't keeping everyone in the loop. So that was really important for us. And now we've got this beautiful replica artwork in a really public location in Warrnambool that I feel a bit of pride every time I drive past it and think, I helped put that there, and I'm sure that Anthea and the kids and everyone else who was involved think the same. So the
next step might be to get it on an art trail. Hey, regional art. Thank you.
Thank you.
So fascinating, and it's hello. That's fascinating. Awesome to see the progression of the project from what was originally at the school and now in a public space, Warrnambool's newest public artwork. Can you just tell us a bit about the artists?
Sure. So the students actually created the original artwork at Warrnambool College in 2023. There was Joel Jenkins, Kobe Chatfield, Mika Merriman and Hayley Dalton. And at the time, 3 of them were in Year 9 and one of them was in Year 10. They worked with Mel Stephenson and Sherry. Mel's down the back. Give us a big wave, Mel. Woo! And Sherry Johnston, and over 3 workshops of an hour and a half each, they came up with their version of, they depicted the 6 Indigenous seasons. And I'd also like to make mention that the person who brought this to life and who shared it with community was Brett Clark. Brett did a talk at the library, and from that Mel was there. Kevin Sparrow got on board, and that is the reason that we can celebrate this work of 4 people. Thank you, Brett.
Great, thank you so much. All right. I think as well of some of your comments, Jarrod, around the huge amount of planning that you put into that. Just save it in Dropbox or on Google Drive, guys. It shouldn't be on one individual's laptop on their personal computer, okay? Just a little note. And I love taking the opportunities to pitch for support or to, it's a small community. You're going to bump into people in the IGA. Take your chance. Ask them for support. Hey, what can you do to help my project? Have a yarn with anyone you bump into that might be helpful. Ask for discounts. And I loved your point around partnerships and finding people to collaborate with. That was great.